Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Tuesday, June the 8th market update. On the economic front, there was no real market moving data today, so on deck for tomorrow we will get the EI petroleum status report, so keep an eye on the energy stocks and oil. Dollar and gold were down today, silver was mostly flat, and copper and oil were up. Light sweet crude futures were up 55 cents to settle at $71.99 a barrel. So look at the dollar ETF UUP. Still kind of hanging around up here, still in this channel up. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow closed up 123 points to 99.39. S&P closed up 11 points to 1,062. Nasdaq closed down 3 points to 2170, and the Russell closed down 1 point to 617. The Dow had the large percent gain, up 1.26%. And the NASDAQ was the weakest, down 0.13%. So it's kind of interesting. The Russell and the NASDAQ, which often lead, were kind of weak. I know a lot of people are excited about this reversal day here. And if you look on the Dow, we had this candle was lower than the previous candle. And then this candle was the high, this candle, the body went higher than the midpoint of this candle. So we had a piercing line here, which is a reversal signal. So the first candle has to be, it'd be better if it was like longer here, but it was long enough for. So, but the second candle has to open lower than the first, and then this candle has to go higher than the midpoint, which it did. So the midpoint would be like right here. So if the candle was there or shorter, then it wouldn't be reversal, but or a piercing line, and it appears so it was, and it doesn't have to take out the prior high. So we had a reversal there, but yeah, and the MACD's getting a little better. I mean, it's all right. I mean, I think we're in for a, we're kind of due for a little bit of a bounce anyway, but I'm not. A little bit of reversal here too. Let's look at the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ had a nice hammer to it. So I mean, it's pretty positive here. Let's go out further. Yeah, depends on, I guess, how you draw the trend line. We're still kind of below this area here. Let's go look at the 60-minute chart on the S&P. So I've talked about here, these gold lines with bouncing, but in this channel down, the MACD here did go lower than here, but that doesn't always work that way. It's more important that down here we didn't go lower than the MACD that was here. So the MACD here was here, so we made a higher low on the MACD, so that's good. So I do think, and like I talked about this yesterday, whenever it was. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get back up into this area here eventually. Even though the market's still kind of weak and hasn't been in a big hurry to go anywhere. So I still think possibly we get back up close to this 1,090 or so, and we might be able to stay long until then. The volume today was actually higher than average, so the volume wasn't too bad. Pretty good. Let's look at gold. Gold is up against resistance here, the prior high up here of 122.23. We've hit it, so we've got resistance here. Didn't have real heavy selling, so we'll probably have a pullback in gold and probably want to buy the dip when it does that. Silver is up against resistance, possible descending triangle, or it could break out higher. Doesn't have a lot of volume here, so it really didn't have the volume to break out higher. So like I said, SLV, the silver ETF, resistance. Copper is getting a bounce. It broke down here. It's kind of getting a little bounce. No volume behind it. Copper's still looking pretty weak. Euro, channel down in the euro, still there. We did have some volume coming in. So we'll see what it does when it gets up here to this trend line. The VIX. VIX down 7.85% today. Still up here in the 30s. Let's see, XLF, nice little bounce. Looks like it's trying to hold down here in this area. So nice bounce there. And Let's look at the semis again today. So had a hammer type candle here on the semis, so it's looks like it's trying to hold up here somewhere in here, or you could draw it here. But semis were definitely getting beat up here of late. Let's go take a look at the McClellan. We're at minus 28.47, so we're closer to neutral than we are to oversold. So we're kind of neutral on the McClellan right now. Let's go look at the sectors. 11 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. The insurance index had the largest percent gain, up 2.61%. Biotech index was the weakest, down 0.79%. Over to ChartWatch, have some new ones, and then we have some that we were already looking at. First is this RDY. We've looked at before, and it's, we looked at, I think, when it broke out right here. We watched for the breakout. Big volume. This thing's just really running, looking good. Sherwin-Williams could be a descending triangle, but it's at support, so you could actually probably buy it here and probably take profits right here close to this trend line. Use today's low as your, well, I wouldn't use the exact low as your stop. Today's low is 72.78. I would probably use, say, 72, I don't know, pick it 65, 72.60, something like that as your stop. But you could probably make a go of it here. Energy, the nat gas energies have been, they've had these breakouts and they're holding up pretty well. So you might want to check out CHK. I think we've talked about these before. APA, Apache looks like it's in a triangle. SWN, it's above the downtrend line as well, still holding up there. Nice little consolidation. Exide, it's still holding around this, $4.90. Had huge volume here on this earnings breakout, and it's still holding up, so it might be worth a nibble and some higher prices. Hot, Starwood Hotels. It's another one that looks like it could be possibly in a continuation triangle, a falling wedge type pattern. Tons of volume on this support bounce right here around this 52.50. Fast. Another one, possible descending type triangle, but it is at support. Again, you could use the low to bail out of it. I wouldn't go too many longs in this market. I mean, I still think we can get a bounce, but I wouldn't go more than a couple of longs, something you can really watch closely. But you probably could go that long to this and then take profits base up here unless it breaks out higher, which unless the market is cooperating, unlikely. Iconic Brands, it had all this volume there around earnings, and then it looks like, again, it's in this continuation wedge, falling wedge, which are typically bullish, and a whole bunch of volume come in today and bought it right here. Win, another one's in a triangle pattern, bunch of volume coming in. Win today. Of course, some of this can be short covering, of course, since sure everybody's been trying to get short. APEI, I've been watching this. It's still holding up there. Volume did come in trying to sell us today, but it's holding tough around that 46 support. Still like this little Brazil Telecom. Looks real good. Lots of volume. Cybex, talked about it yesterday. Still holding up. EPB, talked about it. Still looking good. NGD, these little golds. Whoops. New Gold breaking out today with a little bit of volume. NGD looks pretty good. I think I didn't talk about that one yesterday, I don't think. FRG still going higher, looking good. ANV, Allied, that one's good. EGO. Be careful on these golds, though, if we get a pullback. So you might be able to buy them on the dip. ESI, I still like this one up short, especially up near that 101, 102 level. FSLR, still like this one short, especially up near probably 110 or so. DB, still possible short. This one probably may fill this gap, the magnet area there. So you could probably, I'd wait to short it up in here in this area if you're not already shorted, or some type of spread or something. I still like bin short. Again, it's bounced with some volume. Short it back up closer to this area. 3M, same way. Needs to get closer to that 77.50 area probably to short again. Men's Warehouse probably needs to be closer to 20 to short again. BHE closer to 17.50 to short again. North Fork Southern at support. You could probably possibly buy it here, or if it breaks down, you could short it. Another looks like possible descending type triangle, or if you go long here, you might be able to take your profits up near this area here. PCP, Precision Cash Parts. Again, I would short this one closer up here to the trend line near the 111 or so area. Cree, talked about this one. It's at support. So I wouldn't short it unless it breaks lower with volume, or you could go long and take it before it hits that downtrend line. Walter, another at support. CMG at support. MACD's not looking good though, so you might be able to go long, but I'm thinking this one's going to eventually break down. This MACD's not looking very good at all. All right, let's take a look at the current market signals. Follow the point figure chart for the Dow, Nasdaq, S&P. No change here. All on sell signals, and price of indexes I think went a little lower on the Dow and Nasdaq today because of the weakness this morning. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.